So I was just going to briefly go through the yogic view of what happens when you meditate, because this session is for meditation. So as you know, our waking state is these five senses. Right? It's pretty simple. And our attention just goes through those five channels. And what is tracking that is called man, or sometimes manas. Manas is the lower mind, which normally is just engaged with the busyness of the senses. Right? So it's always getting stimulated by the senses, and it's telling the hands to do this. And it's just active in the waking state. So when we meditate, the first thing we're really doing is retracting from the senses. You know, the image used in the scriptures, in the Gita and Patanjali also, as if the tortoise is indrawing its limbs. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about that. So when you meditate, your senses are indrawn. That means you're left with manas. The manas is the lower mind. By default, it just tracks the senses. But if you're not using the senses, then the manas is kind of like rattling around inside your head space with thoughts and plans and memories. I should have done this, and right, on and on and on. Manas. But if you, let's say you give manas the mantra, even if you're not saying it out loud, but mentally, then you're taking manas and you're engaging it on one thing, the mantra, Amaram Ham, Mataram Ham. So then manas also settles down. It's not being stimulated by the senses. And you have brought it to one point on the mantra, so it begins to calm down, just settles down. It's like water. If you don't blow on it, the waves will calm down. So the manas calms down. What remains then is the intelligence, right, in Sanskrit called Buddhi. Buddhi, you've heard this. Buddhi is your innate intelligence. If it's cultivated through education, then it becomes a cultivated intelligence. Otherwise, everybody has Buddhi, some intelligence or other, right? To get your food, to do this, to do that. And normally it's giving instructions to the manas, which then gives instructions to the senses. But if the senses are calm, which we will do in meditation, and then if the manas is calm, then the intelligence is there. Then the Guru Gyan is given that your sense of I, which the intelligence can be aware of, can be made aware that each of us has a sense of I. And the senses are still, the mind is still. So the intelligence can be informed by the Guru consciousness that you are actually pure knower. You are the knower. And the knower is pure consciousness, meaning it's not mixed with the Buddhi, it's not mixed with the manas, it's not mixed with the senses. The knower is the knower of all of those. It gives them life, right? It gives them consciousness. But in meditation, you're taking it back. So in meditation, you end up as the knower. And the Buddhi is informed by the Guru. This is your true nature. So the Buddhi becomes dissolved in the knower because it's attending the knower. And then this knower, at first you will think it is as if your ego, but even your ego calms down and stops being active. then you are just pure knowingness. And that is Atma, the self. So we can use mantra to begin that whole process, because mantra, you're using the senses. And then after a while, you're not repeating the mantra out loud, you're repeating it in the manas. And through that, the manas becomes settled. Then the intelligence is aware of the mantra and the meaning of the mantra. I am immortal. I am blissful. That's who I am. Right? Not mind, not senses, not body. These are my temporary manifestations. Buddhi, intellect, intelligence can understand this. And so we follow the mantra until the mantra drops. What remains is pure space. We can go into that. I'll just repeat the mantra a few times out loud. And then we can just follow it inside until at some point you will probably drop it and just be pure space. At which point you don't have to do anything. Just be knowing. Amaram ham madhuram ham. 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 And you can just continue it inside. That will be manas, with buddhi, the intelligence, watching it. And the buddhi can be engaged to understand that this mantra, amaram, means immortal. No such thing as death. That is what I am, amaram ham. And so I am madhuram, blissful, undivided, unchanging, eternal. And then the buddhi becomes absorbed like a drop into the ocean, its own self, water, pure consciousness, Atma, which is pure space, Akash, Sham Akash. I'll be quiet. And as you come out of meditation, that process that I described begins to activate from the pure knowingness and begins to show itself as the Buddhi, the intelligence, the understanding. And then the mind begins to activate and become aware of itself and its thinking and knowing. And then it comes down into the senses that become active. You look around, you can rub your palms together, activating touch and the prana, and place them over your eyes. So you're gradually coming from that pure space once again into the field of activity, which is your own being, same being, but now active, as if you came from the depth of the ocean to the surface where the activity of the waves are there interacting. And this is then back into the waking state. But that depth is still there. And as a meditator, you know it, you're aware of it. And that is guiding you all the time. Om Amaram Om.